Hi, this is Shirley Solis with ShirleySolis.com, and welcome to day 18 of the Live Life with Flavor Challenge. Today is Wild Marriage Wednesday. If I was going to invite you to my home, like physically invite you into my home, I would open the door and greet you and we'd become instant friends. However, the relationship evolves, right? Because I'd invite you into my living room and I would give you offer you something to drink and then something to eat, and little by little we'd start what would be a superficial conversation and we'd go deeper into getting to know one another, right? Well, what I've done with this challenge has been pretty much the same thing. I have wanted to invite you into my home and share a little bit of how I live and what I do and some of the life lessons that I've learned that have helped me to become a powerful woman, a powerful mom, a powerful wife, to have a powerful body, and to be able to build a powerful business. But with that said, I haven't shared too much of the intimate details of my life, but I thought today was the day to share that with you. So get a little closer and get comfortable. 5 years ago, I realized that in my marriage, something was definitely broken. And what had been broken was the fact that my husband had an addiction to pornography. In fact, he had an addiction to pornography pretty much the entirety of our marriage, which at that time was 16 years. Now, this came as a shock to me because we were fully committed to living with purity. Like, I thought we were committed to living with purity. I thought we were in the role of helping other people have what Gus and I didn't have, because we did live promiscuous lives. We know that if we could have turned back time, we would have done things very differently. And so with that in mind, we had taught our children to stay pure. We had taught our children the beauty of sacredness in marriage. So obviously to find this out came at a great shock to me. And what I experienced was just an intense amount of emotions. Everything from betrayal to anger to wrath to bitterness to frustration to literally just these intense thoughts and feelings that were so painful I didn't even know what to do with them. In fact, the anger and the frustration and the rage was a great way to cope with the pain that I felt, the pain of betrayal. Now, 5 years later, you fast forward and you can look at our family today, you can look at our marriage, and Gus and I worked through all of the pain, we worked through all of the difficulties, the lack of communication, and everything that had taken us to the point where we were 5 years ago. And you know what? I am so glad that we worked through it. I am so glad that I went through it even. You know, there's a verse in scripture that says, give God thanks for all things. And it would be very hard to give God thanks for a difficult situation like that in my life. But looking back, I am so thankful because I know that every single prayer that I had given God, every single prayer and every conversation I had with Him, where I knew that I wanted to have a marriage that was significant and unique and beautiful, He listened. But there were some things that He had to get rid of in my life, and He had to get rid of in Gus's life, and that He needed to build back up. Like, God needed to do an amazing work in our marriage to be able to get it to the place where we are today. And so yes, it was very intense. There was a lot of fire, if you would. There was a lot of pain. There was a lot of frustration. But all of it served to get us to where we are today. So I don't know where you are in your marriage. And maybe you've had a beautiful marriage. And I just bless you for that because you're incredibly privileged. But maybe you've had a marriage like mine where even 16 years of marriage, we're in the absolute best. There was a lot of frustration, a lot of pain, a lot of separation, a lack of intimacy in many ways and being connected. And then it sort of came to chaos 5 years ago, and it got even worse because everything started coming out. And then that began the process of reconstruction. But you know what? I don't know where you are in your life, but I can definitely tell you that there are some major life lessons to learn in the midst of it all. I know that I learned my lessons. It wasn't easy to learn them. I didn't always want to learn them, but I did. God loved me enough to carry me through the times where I couldn't carry myself. He put people around in my life to carry me through the difficult times. He put people in Gus's life that would love him. And then little by little, we learned what unconditional love was. And we learned to love one another after learning to love God and ourselves first, of course. And as we did that, we've been able to experience a marriage that I call is the way I refer to it is a tri-dimensional bliss. It's an ecstasy in the body, it's an ecstasy in the soul, and it's an ecstasy in the spirit. And it's all because Gus and I were willing to grow together. We were willing to stick through the challenge, and we were able to commit. And to tell you the truth, I didn't always want to commit. I definitely didn't want to stay in a marriage where that situation was happening, and I didn't. I said I will only continue in this marriage if my husband is fully healed, and then I am fully healed in the process. So if you're wondering, Gus is completely healed of that addiction. If you're wondering, I don't worry about what he's thinking. I don't doubt, and there's no lack of trust in our marriage today. We have an entirely new marriage, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I hope that today's video will give you hope wherever you are. I hope that you'll share it with other women who may be hurting because of the pain of pornography in their life. And I want to tell you that because of that situation, I absolutely learned to live my life with flavor. Because everything that was meant for evil, I made sure that God would turn it around and use it for good. Because I wanted my life to be used for good, and I wanted my life to have a purpose, and I wanted my family to have a purpose. So your family and your life can have purpose if you let it, if you can pick the beauty from the ashes. And I know that I certainly have, so I encourage you to look into it as well and to live life with flavor, even in the midst of the challenges. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate how we're getting to know each other. Please, in the comments below, share about any particular situation in your marriage that has been difficult and how you can encourage others. Or let us know if you're in the midst of a difficult marriage, and we'd love to be praying for you and encourage you in your journey forward. Until tomorrow, God bless you. This is Shirley Solis with ShirleySolis.com.